Hey everyone, Kareem Rae here, and today we have Jordan Haynes, who's a professional footballer at Pacific FC that play in the CPL. For those of you that don't know, it's the Canadian Premier League. Jordan, how's it going?
Going really well, man. Just got back from a late long trip from Ottawa yesterday and ready to have a day off.
Nice. How was the game yesterday? Did you guys win?
That was good. We won 1-0. It's always good to get a road win, very important to pick up as many points as you can on the road, and thankfully we got all three.
Absolutely. So we're gonna, we're focused on you today, and then I want to, later on ask you a couple questions about the CPL. But, how did you get involved into the beautiful game? Can you take us back in time?
Yeah, I think I started playing when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I played at a very young age. And I think it was actually my parents first kind of put me into the scene, and I just kind of took off as soon as I started playing. I loved it. I had so much fun. Back then I was playing throughout the whole year, even through the winter, for indoor soccer. And then my real passion for the game actually came when my mom put on a game for an English Premier League game, and Arsenal was playing at the time. And that also kind of translated into them becoming my favorite team, all thanks to Thierry Henry. And ever since then, it was just kind of like fully immersed into the game. I just watching, playing. It all started around that time. They were the Invincibles, actually, I think the year before. So it was perfect timing.
Got it. Arsenal's not doing too great nowadays, though.
No, that's why I usually don't tell people I still support, because it's just depressing.
Yeah, of course. And earlier on you mentioned, can you just quickly mention what part of Canada you're from?
Yeah, I'm actually from a smaller city in Ontario, called Peterborough, Ontario. It's about an hour and a half northeast of Toronto.
Got it. And can you give just some context of like just growing up there, and for the viewers that haven't been there?
Yeah, it's when I was growing up, it actually wasn't really much of a soccer city, as much as say the closer you get to Toronto or the GTA or on Ottawa even. It was quite a hockey, lacrosse centric city. And when I was younger, playing at not a very competitive level, obviously house league, I was just playing local. But I started to obviously excel in the sport, and the only way for me to kind of go up was to leave the city. And then I started playing a lot of my football in my younger teen years, in the GTA, later on into Toronto FC Academy, and then had a stint overseas in England when I was a teenager, and then played most of my time in academy football with the Whitecaps.
Got it. Nice. So you've been in the academy system for a while then.
Yeah, so I was playing in a pro academy for about, I guess you could say, for the better part of 5 years, if you were to add them all up, before I signed my first pro deal with Whitecaps.
Got it. So yeah, leading into that question right there, that's the question everyone wants to know, is how did you become a professional footballer or soccer player?
It's actually funny because, well, it may not be funny to others, but the way when it happens to you, you obviously have this kind of plan slash image of how it's going to happen. When it finally happens, you're like, oh, I want it to be like this. This is how I'm going to feel. This is how I'm going to react. This is how they're going to tell me. This is where I want it to be. Whatever it may be for yourself. And it didn't happen at all like I thought it was going to. I was just playing, with Whitecaps' academy in the under-18 team, and I had some time with the first team in the MLS training. But I didn't really talk to the coaches in the first team that much at the time. And then just randomly, I got called in by the technical director into the office after training one day. He said, hey, we think you're good. We think you have what it takes to go to the next level, and we want to offer you a pro deal. And I was just like, obviously, yes. But I just didn't, it just kind of threw me off. And I was just like, wait, is this real? I didn't even expect it to happen. So I didn't even know how to react. It was crazy. It kind of came out of nowhere. And then I signed for their brand new team, the Whitecaps 2 in the USL. They currently don't have a team anymore. They folded, but I played 3 years there with the Whitecaps 2 from the first pro.
You mentioned USL. Was it USL 1 or USL Championship?
USL Championship.
Got it. And you said that their USL championship team folded?
Yeah, so they ended up not having the team atmosphere that they, I guess, kind of hoped to have the Whitecaps too. So they ended up selling their franchise spot to a team in Fresno. And I guess now they've kind of, with the new league of MLS Next Pro, they've actually restarted the team, but obviously it's not in the USL anymore. It's in the MLS Next Pro, with the Whitecaps 2 team kind of resurrecting a bit. And it's a little bit of a different look, a lot more younger faces.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was looking into it, and it's a different business model compared to the USL or the MLS. They're going with a different approach, which is pretty interesting, that I want to do some more research on. But that's amazing. So your first 3 years were with the Whitecaps in USL 1, and then where'd you go from there? And wait, actually, how old were you when you signed your first pro contract?
First pro deal, I think I was either 18 or 19. I believe I was 18 because I was still in the Whitecaps Academy at the time. Yeah, so 18.
So you signed your first pro contract at 18, and how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 26, so it was 8 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. So you've been in the game for almost a decade.
Yeah, it's been a long time, especially when you consider like kind of being in the pro environment at a young age too. It's kind of, obviously you're not a professional, but it's the same kind of environment, and it's a long time when you look back. Yeah.
100%. And like, what advice would you share with players that want to go pro at the age of 18 or 19?
I think this is advice I give to almost anyone when I get asked this question. It usually never changes because it's kind of how I kind of made my career. It's to always give 100% or even 110% every opportunity you can, whether it be training sessions, recovery sessions, even in the gym session. You can't take time off of anything, especially when you're a young aspiring pro. Obviously the best of the best, sometimes just need to stay sharp and be ready for game day. But when you're young and you don't even have a spot on the team, you can't train like that. You can't play like that because you'll never get the opportunity. And you need to show either your coach or future coaches, scouts, whatever it may be, what team you may land at. You need to be showing, obviously you want it, and you'll get better, and you'll never get better without 110% effort at all times.
Yeah, 100%. Great point. Jordan, you coming from a place where, it's not football, right? It was a small place. Soccer wasn't played that much. And, you've made it this far. There must have been something that you were doing on and off the field that was very attractive to Toronto FC Academy, to the Whitecaps Academy. What were you doing that was attracting these opportunities to you?
Yeah, I think a lot of it did have to do with my passion and drive just for the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
And came to actually playing. A lot of people used to tell me like I had this like very raw kind of ability when it came to football. Obviously certain players, different things. If you have a player like Neymar, he's very polished, very technical. But then when you have, you may have another player like Gary Meta. He's a completely different player, but he's still playing at the same level, but you wouldn't say he's very polished. I think a lot of people saw that kind of side of football in me when I was growing up. I was a very aggressive player, very, very passionate when I played. I wanted to keep making runs, keep making defensive efforts, tackling, passing. Like I just wanted to do it all at the time. And I think that's what I kind of brought when I was younger. Just they saw that I had the potential just by the way I kind of carried myself around like even just the facility with a professional attitude. And then obviously on the field when it came to, giving literally everything I could, like I said, doing everything I could to showcase myself at the time. And then, showing that I had the capabilities to have the potential to, make it pro.
Nice. I want to pivot here and dive into more on the field conversation, because I usually focus off the field because, we want to share that information of how to go pro, right? Because there's so many different ways that players have made it. So we're that's what we do on our podcast, to share that information. But I want to pivot here and dive to more on the field things with you. What position do you play?
Currently, I play left back.
So left back. And have you always been a defender, or is that a new position?
I actually haven't always been a defender. When I was younger, I played the majority of my time on the wing. I used to be a left mid most of the time, up until I was about 14 or 15 and heading into the TFC Academy. And it was actually Jimmy Brennan who first made the kind of tactical decision of, say, like, you might excel as a left back instead of as a left mid. He thought the qualities that I had might better suit me there. Got
it. So can you just, like, only in your professional career, name all the positions that you've played throughout your professional career so far?
Where do I start? I played left mid, right wing, number 10, holding mid, left back, right back. The only real positions that I haven't properly played, other than goalkeeper, I'm never probably going to play goalkeeper.
Yeah, for sure.
Center back.
Center back? That's the only position?
Yes, back and striker.
Okay, got it. Well, so, okay, so that's interesting because, for example, in my mind, or possibly in other players' minds, I'll just speak on my behalf, but, you would think that you're going into the professional realm, in a professional career, playing one position and mastering that position. But it seems that you had to adapt. So is that always the case? Is that a case for a lot of players that are playing professionally? And what advice would you give on being able to adapt to different positions?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's also what, I guess, another thing that people saw that was appealing to sign me on was, obviously I'm very versatile. And it's kind of like one or the other. It's not that so good to be in the middle of mastering one position or only maybe being able to play one or two quite well. I would say, if I were to give advice on for another player's approach, is you can do either or, but I would try to pick and choose. I would say playing safe in the middle wouldn't be as beneficial for you. Like you said, mastering one position, if you're the best striker you could possibly be, people are going to love that. When they see a striker, yeah, this guy's polished, scores goals, all different types of goals, shots in the box, whatever it may be. Or if you can play everywhere up top, you can play on the wing, you can play number 10, you can play striker. Coaches will love that too, because whether you may be starting, they say injuries happen as you're coming on as a sub, and the game changes on its head at all times, and even game to game, where the coach may say, like, yeah, we need you at left wing, like you're my star, like you're a star player, but you can play everywhere. People are going to love someone that can play everywhere, because it makes it so much easier for someone to either create a starting 11 or have an impact sub. It's definitely really beneficial to be versatile, as much as it is to just be excelling in one position.
Got it. Great points. And from you understanding all those positions that you've played, that means you understand what's going on in the players' minds that you're playing against, and you're able to make predictions of what they're going to do. Would you say I'm on point with what I'm saying right now?
Of course.
Got it. So now playing left back, are you more of an aggressive left back, or are you more conservative in that position?
So when I was younger and transitioning to the role, I was definitely a lot more offensive. I used to just be like, yeah, I don't really play left back. I play left wing back, and I just defend when I'm supposed to. Otherwise, I just want to bomb down the line all the time. But as you get older and you start playing better competition, you kind of can't be out of position like that as a left back, because you get exploited very easily, with counterattacks or a fast pacey winger. But knowing, obviously, like how I used to play winger or playing other positions around me, it has helped me read the game in a way that I can kind of understand when I can be aggressive and when I can be conservative. Obviously, if my coach says, like, maybe a little bit more conservative this game, with, if they have a star winger is really fast, it may not be beneficial for me to try and bomb on the whole game, because it'd be very easy for them to get in behind. But it's kind of helped me read the game in a way when I know when I can do either or, being conservative or aggressive.
Got it. And, you know, I'm going to pivot here to a next question. You know, I don't think players that haven't made it yet have experienced what you've experienced, and other professional players, but what changed once you signed your first professional contract right now? Because now you're getting paid for what you love to do, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
did come with that?
It honestly, it comes as much as well, it depends on how you take this. It literally becomes a lifestyle, and you can take that in a good way, or just, oh, I want to live the life of a professional footballer. But it's obviously not just, oh, you know, I get to train for an hour and a half in the morning, the rest of the days off. I get to travel on the weekends. I just play soccer. I get games, you know, I get a long off season. It's, you know, I'm living a life. I don't have to work that much. But if you take in the way of the lifestyle of I'm a professional rather than just I'm a soccer player, you know, it's there's way more to it. And when I signed the contract and I decided to become a pro, I had to, you know, I had to adapt my lifestyle completely. You know, I don't stay up late. I get good sleep. I wake up at appropriate time. I eat healthy, like no sugar, you know, all whole foods, right? Good proteins, you know, very few cheat meals. When I'm doing after training, when I'm doing before training, you know, recovery, pre-abbing. When I'm at training, you know, it's not just train, you know, like, oh, cool, I'm on a field for an hour and a half. It's, you know, giving everything I can for that time to get better and, you know, prepare myself for the weekend. And, you know, it's not about, oh, you know, going out after the game all the time, you know, partying, what have you. There's obviously a time and place for everything, but it's not as, you know, what's the word? You know, sunshine and rainbows as people kind of make out being a pro to be. It's a lot of dedication.
Yeah, 100%. And everything has to be calculated. Obviously, you know, not all players are very calculative. It just depends. But at least once you have the platform, it's easier to be more calculated.
Of course, yeah. Like the way I like to live my life is a very kind of not a strict regimen, but like consistency. I like to have consistency. So if I'm like kind of living the same schedule every day, it's very easy to stay on top of it. You know, when I wake up, I do this. 20 minutes later, I do this. Okay, I'm off the training. Okay, I do the same stuff before training. If you keep a consistent schedule, it's very easy to adapt into the pro lifestyle, for me at least.
Got it. I agree with you 100%. You have experience in the USL and CPL. Were there any other leagues that you played in? You played in the USL Championship, the Canadian Premier League. Were there any other leagues?
So those are the only two pro leagues. Obviously, I did play at the semi-pro level in the PDL. Now, well, formerly PDL, currently USL 2. But I haven't played in that in the last, for 4 years. I played a year, and then before I signed pro, we actually did play a season with Whitecaps in the PDL at the time. Yeah.
Got it. And is the PDL the NPSL now or the UPSL?
I believe it's USL 2.
Okay, USL 2. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's separate from that, actually. Yeah, it's a similar league.
Got it. And what year did you get into the CPL?
I had my first season in the 2020 season. It was the bubble in PEI.
Oh, so you got in after CPL started in 2019, so you got in a year after.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. That's cool. And then you guys, I mean, I was there at the finals. It was a freezing finals the last year that you guys won in 2021. And yeah, let's just talk like quickly about that, and you know, and I want to ask you about the league comparison CPL. But how did it feel to win the CPL?
It was honestly crazy because, you know, everyone's dream when it comes to playing sports is, you know, you just want to win. That's why you play. You want to win. You know, obviously you love it for whatever reason, but you know, you play because you want to win. I'm not going out there and be like, okay, whatever. If we lose, who cares? You know, I'm trying to win. And so few people can like actually say they've won anything.
Yeah.
Pro level, obviously, right? You know, there's tons of like top tier pros that have never won anything, and it's it's honestly, it was honestly crazy for me to, it was only my second year in the CPL to be in the you know, driving seat of, you know, we can win this thing. And you know, everyone beginning of the year is going to see, you know what, we want to win, obviously, but you know, sometimes people may not actually think it'll happen. You know, they're skeptical, and I won't say like I didn't think it was going to happen, but you know, I thought it was, you know, it was going to be a long road, long shot. It could be, you know, if it doesn't happen, I could see it happening. And then, you know, we were in the finals, and I was just, you know, it was kind of like surreal. I was just like, this is like, you know, we're in the game. Like, this is the final. If we win the whole thing. And you know, we scored a goal in the second half, midway through. And after that, the goal happened, I was like, we're gonna win. Like, we're winning this game. Like, there's no jinxing it. I was like, we're winning. You know, you could tell Forge was kind of getting at themselves. They were kind of panicking a bit, and they weren't really playing, you know, the way Forge usually does. We kind of got in their head with the goal, and it, you know, it was just like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just crazy surreal. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, first of all, I want to say congratulations to you and to the team.
Thank
That's a huge accomplishment, and I gotta say, because Forge, they've won for the last 2 years. They won 2019, 2020, and for you guys specific to come in and take 2021 away from them is amazing for you guys and for the league, which
you.
creates more excitement for the fans, right? So that's really good for the league. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny, because I actually had so many like coaches, you know, ex-teammates, friends, you know, fans, like messaging me before like the week leading up to the game, like, listen, you guys just have to, where everyone's cheering for you right now. You know, we can't let Forge like have the three-peat, you know, like, and even leading up to the game, it was funny. There was a lot of like social media going around of, you know, Forge already won. You know, everyone was counting us out, and it was awesome. Like, we saw graphics from like from the league saying like, oh, you know, this is Forge's fairy tale honeymoon. Like, we were like, this is just great. Like, this is just fuel for us, you know.
100%. I'd be interested. I never really asked questions into like what goes into you guys. Like, I guess I'll save that for another time. I'd do that offline. I'd give you a call and ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Um, Leading towards the end here, what's your most memorable soccer moment?
Ooh, I've got okay, soccer moment, I know for sure. I was thinking a bit too, just because of like actual game itself is a different answer actually. But so when I was playing in my teen years, I was representing Canada at the youth level with under 17s and under 20s. And in our CONCACAF qualifications with the under 17 team, we beat Jamaica to qualify for the World Cup in United Arab Emirates at the time. And the next game after that, we unfortunately lost to Panama in the semis.
Yeah.
And then we played in the bronze medal match against Honduras. And we made it all the way to extra time. We were tied at 90 minutes, 1-1. And then they scored really early in extra time. And then I had a chance, and I actually scored the game tying goal in the 119th minute, right in the last minute of the game for us to take it to penalties. And then I actually ended up scoring my penalty, and we won in penalty shootout for bronze in CONCACAF. And when I scored that goal, it was 100% the best moment of my career. Because I didn't score many, because that was around the time when I transitioned to playing left back at the time. So I kind of stopped scoring many goals, and it wasn't a natural feeling that I felt all the time. And when I scored, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just ran around the field. There was like 10,000 Panamanians in the stands, because their game was next in the finals against Mexico, and they were cheering for us because they hated Honduras. So it just made like the whole moment like 20 times better.
It's awesome. That's amazing. Well, leading in towards the last 10 fun questions, they're all like, it's a speed question thing, so you got to answer them quick.
Okay.
Okay, so who's your favorite team?
Arsenal.
Favorite player?
Thierry Henry.
Favorite cleats right now?
Campos. All day.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? Sushi.
Favorite artist musically?
Musically, 21 Savage.
Favorite, I'll add on to that. What's your favorite track by him?
Favorite track by him? What's it called? Immortal.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Ooh, if you asked me this a few years ago, I'd say Ronaldo, but currently I have to say Messi.
Got it. Let's just say, me and you, we got, we're shit talking. I'm like, yo, I'll slap you in FIFA, blah, blah, blah. You're like, put your money where your mouth is. I'm like, all right, let's go. We're putting $2,000 on the line. Who's your go-to team?
It's the Real Madrid. Yeah, has to be.
Real Madrid, got it. 2 goals in the game or 1 goal and 1 assist?
Ooh, 2 goals.
Would you rather score a free kick or a PK last minute goal?
Ooh, I feel like free kick.
Got it. A bar dizzle.
What's that?
No, I just said a bar dizzle free kick.
Oh, bar, of course, man. Put it top corner. Bar in.
And lastly, if you were a coach and you were able to sub in any player in history, who would it be to win you the game?
Ooh, it's gotta be Pele.
Yeah, legendary. Jordan,
Legend,
am I missing anything? Did you want to add anything in?
not that I can think of, man. I think it's just been a good little chat, man.
For sure. Okay. Well, Jordan, before we go, I just want to thank you for taking the time for joining us on the One Soccer Nation podcast today.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.